Larry Fink himself can't believe how fast his ETF is growing. I mean, in this recent interview, he basically said he had no idea that ETFs in general, or Bitcoin spot ETFs, were going to be this successful. Here's the amazing, staggering stat that the IBIT spot Bitcoin ETF is the fastest growing ETF in history. Let that sink in for a little bit. Think about how many ETFs there are on the market, how long ETFs have been around, and the IBIT spot Bitcoin ETF is the fastest growing ETF in history. Okay, that's how much demand there is. So if you thought that, yeah, whatever has happened so far in the last 2 months, um, if you thought that was like kind of like the end, think again. Just wait. Wait until Bitcoin forms a new high, another new high, a new high. Volume is going to be exploding on these ETFs, and it's going to be a perpetual cycle. Whereas as Bitcoin goes higher in price, more volume comes into the ETF. That means they have to buy more Bitcoin, and then the higher the price goes, and it's just going to keep on circulating. Okay, so I've been making this point for a long time, and I don't think it's going to stop. It's just not, and it's unfortunate because, well, it's fortunate and unfortunate. It's fortunate for short term because, well, all the Bitcoin is being bought from circulation, and that's why the price is going up. It's unfortunate long term because you see Grayscale, they had their 650,000 Bitcoin that they accrued for like a decade now, all going to BlackRock. Like it's basically the exact inverse relationship. And Grayscale continues to sell and sell and sell and sell and sell and sell. But the good news is this week so far, the demand has outpaced the selling. So you could see 3 days of green. That means good. That means we had a lot more flowing into the ETFs than outflowing, despite the fact that Grayscale sold 4,370 yesterday, which is a net minus 300 million. That's a lot. That's a lot. And it just doesn't, it's not stopping. It's not stopping, right? We had a new ETF come in, or we're going to have a new ETF from Hashtag that's going to come in. So that will be one more. But yesterday, you could see overall, we had a huge inflow day for BlackRock once again. BlackRock itself took in more than Grayscale sold. And yesterday, ARK had a huge day, 200 million plus day, right? So right now, even though Grayscale is still massively selling and basically just giving everything to BlackRock at this point, right? The market is eating it up. So that's fantastic. So far we have 3 consecutive green days. We're in the 4th day now. Can we see this continue today? It could be the reason why Bitcoin is stronger, still holding at 71,000 right now. ETFs, right? There's a lot more coming. So, of course, the big boy is BlackRock, and then Fidelity is the second big boy. But you have a lot of the smaller fund companies, and I say smaller, but they still have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in there, right? So you have a couple new ones coming in. Hashdex, actually, this is what I want to say. Hashdex is going to have a new Bitcoin ETF coming in, okay, and that's another entrance into the race. Okay, it's not going to hurt. I don't know how much volume they're going to pull. That's going to be good. But going back to this, Wisdom Tree has now gained approval to purchase spot ETFs, 206 million and 170 million funds. Doesn't mean that they're going to put all of it into spot ETFs, but they have gotten approval, right? So again, you got a lot of big institutions and companies coming in, right? They can't really buy physical Bitcoin, but they're buying the next best thing, the spot ETFs. So these ETFs, the narratives behind ETF it's just going to keep on continuing, right? It's just another avenue, really. It's not even a narrative. I misspoke. It's not really a narrative. It's really just another avenue for big money to enter the space. That's really the best way to think about it, right? And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And because of ETFs, we're about to close this month in green. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more days. Okay. So there's a chance that maybe we have a downturn, but right now it's looking good. This would be our seventh consecutive green month. 7. Looking through this, I don't know if we ever had 7 consecutive green months ever in Bitcoin's history. I'm looking through this and I don't see it. I think prior we had 5 months. Yeah. I don't think we ever had 7 consecutive green months. I'm looking through this and I don't see it. And, no one's complaining, of course, right? I mean, when you come up, when you start recovering from the bottom, of course, you're going to have a lot of green months. But normally speaking, you have like a red month, 1 or 2 in between while you're recovering. This time around, you can see ever since September, nope, October is when things really start moving. November, December, January barely eked out. Okay, and then February, tremendous, huge month. And March is not looking bad either. And I honestly feel like right now, since we're consolidating around 70,000, and ETFs are starting to inflow more than outflows again, we're going to get that next leg up, like right around the corner. We'll be back at 73,000, and then we're going to get to 75, and then we're going to get to 80. And I really think all that is right around the corner.
If you're looking at this, even if you don't know anything about Bitcoin and you show someone this and you're like, okay, this is the supply of Bitcoin that exists that are on the exchanges, and if you're looking at this pattern, like, wouldn't you become really bullish? Because you're looking at it, you're like, okay, we peaked in 2020 and the supply has been dropping dramatically since then. And if this continues, that means in a few years, there will be no more Bitcoin on the exchanges. It'll basically drop to zero like pre-2014 levels, right? I mean, so how could you not be bullish about Bitcoin just looking at the reserves? The reserves keep on dropping at a much faster pace than when it rose, right? So, I mean, it's just as simple as that. Supply and demand. There's not enough supply. There's way more demand than supply. And that's why Bitcoin will keep on going and keep on going higher. You just have to have patience.